Radio and More, the program that specializes in amateur radio in the Valley and around the world. Whether you're already a ham or have always wanted to be one, you'll find out about interesting events and issues regarding amateur radio. Your host is Len Winkler, KB7LPW. To get in touch with Len, call 241-1510. That's 241-1510. Now here's the host of Ham Radio and More, Len Winkler.
CQ, Arizona. Welcome to Ham Radio and More today. I'm Len Winkler, KB7LPW, and we have a great, fast-paced show today, as we did last week. Our guests today include Fred Cook, KF7DF, Larry Cook, WB7CRK, both from the East Valley Amateur Radio Club, Superstition Amateur Radio Club, Dan Meredith, N7MRP from the Arizona Amateur Radio Club. And we also have Mark McFadden, KB7LPR, in the studio, and he'll speak about a few different things. I want to thank our sponsors who sponsored this show: One Stop Communications, Antennas West, and Wallpaper World. Our number is 241-1510. That's 241-1510. And again, those of you who are out in the boonies or DX land, by all means, call us toll-free, 1-800-293-KFNN. That's 1-800-293-5366. I got a couple of letters in the mail during the week, and I certainly encourage all of you to send us QSL cards to Len Winkler in care of KFNN Radio, 4800 North Central, Phoenix, 85012. Send me a QSL card, and within the next 4 weeks or so, if you can send a self-addressed envelope with it, we'll get you out a QSL card that has KFNN and KB7LPW in it. So by all means, send me a QSL card. We have some QSTs that I'd like to pass along to you. Let's see. Attention college-bound radio amateurs. I thought this was kind of interesting. The Foundation for Amateur Radio, headquarters in Washington, D.C., plans to award 37 scholarships to licensed radio amateurs. The awards range from $500 to $2,000, with preference in some cases for residents of Florida, Virginia, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, and Maryland. However, I'm sure they'll let us Arizonians in. Applications can be requested by letter or QSL card prior to May 31st from here's the address: FAR Scholarships, that's F-A-R, Scholarships, 6903 Rhode Island Avenue in College Park, Maryland, 20740. Again, those are scholarships. That would be kind of neat if somebody got that. Okay. On May 2nd, which is just a few days from now, the Central Arizona DX group is going to have a banquet, and they're going to have OH1MXY, which I believe is from Finland. A guy named is Carl. He's from the largest contacts expedition in history. Is going to be there. They're going to show a movie. They're going to show a movie that was sponsored basically by the Yaesu Foundation. Yaesu Company is the one who sponsored it. It's the premiere showing of From the Beginning to Victory. It's produced by SRP Jack Reed, WA7LMW, and it's going to be held at the Para Club, which is on Continental Drive in Tempe. And if anybody wants information, I think tickets are $8 and get a complete dinner and get to see this movie, which will be released for European TV. So it's not just a low-budget video. I mean, this is a quality production. So to have some good food and a good movie, meet some people. 938-8000 is Frank Smith's phone number, and by all means give him a call for some tickets. Post 599 was involved with having a booth at the 70th anniversary of the Theodore Roosevelt Consul Camporee last week. They demonstrated auto patches, all kinds of things. They talked on 40 meters, 10 meters, and 15 meters, and they made contacts with Hungary, Denmark, New Zealand, and there were 14,000 people who attended that, and that was just from Arizona and New Mexico. That's like amazing, the amount of people they had. So there's a lot of good activities that are taking place here in Phoenix. Bill HR 203 was a Florida bill, and I was told that it was passed. And what that did is it passed a law that the federal antenna laws cannot be superseded by local or state laws. So therefore, in Florida, there's no law that can be passed that can prevent you from putting up an antenna that corresponds to federal laws. However, if you have signed a deed restriction, you're screwed there. You can't. Then this is too bad. Okay. James Haas, an Ohio ham and physical ed school teacher, was arrested for interference on police frequency in 4 states. So may I suggest no one creates any problems in the police frequency bands. The FBI, the FCC, and local police tracked him down. He's held on a $100,000 bail. I'd like to mention that Ken, W0BCN, needs a power supply. His phone number is 892-4520. He needs at least a 35 amp power supply. He'd like an Astron 35 or an Astron 50 or a PS50. Again, that's Ken at 892-4520. Really needs that power supply, so give him a call. Okay, let's see what's next. We have a beginner's packet radio class next Sunday. I was promised that it's going to end before 2 o'clock. Now, it's sponsored by the Arizona Amateur Radio Club, and you want to learn those extra features on the BBSs, which are bulletin boards. You want to learn how to set up packet stations to suit your needs and requirements. All these points will be addressed, including how to get into NetROM and all these other complicated, not so complicated things, because Dan Meredith is going to host it, N7MRP. And let me tell you, when he hosts it, he'll make it that anybody can understand. Even if you're not a ham yet, but you want to learn about ham radio, be there. It's at the American Red Cross building at 1510 East Flower at 16th Street in Osborne. Parking is right there, just off Mulberry Street. And it's not requested, but if you want to send a message to Dan that you'll be there, you can on his bulletin board. Or you can call Barney, KB7KOE, at his home at 861-2817, and Barney be interested in taking your name and getting you a reserved seat. Just want you to know that. Okay, let's see what else we have. Radio classes, in order to get your no-tech license and other licenses, are going to be given by the West Valley Amateur Radio class, but it won't start until September or October. And if you're interested this far in advance, please call Ray, NW7R, at 972-8733, and he can give you much more information about it. I want to reiterate that this coming Saturday, May 4th and 5th, the Cochise Amateur Radio Association is holding their annual Ham Fest at Green Acres. It's located 9 miles east of Sierra Vista, 2 miles south of Highway 90 on Mosen Road. They're going to have a talk-in frequency on 146.16 megahertz. Free admission and parking. Club members may dry camp on site. They're going to have VE testing. Computer buffs are welcome. There's no charge to tailgaters. If you want more information, call Rick at 459-1039. Again, 459-1039, a ham fest. They probably have some good bargains. Next week also, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 1991 West Coast VHF Conference is going to be in Ventura, California. So if you're interested, by all means, you can call 714-979-2633 for more details. And remember, of course, the premier event in Arizona, the Fort Tudhill ARCA Ham Fest, will take place July 26th, July 27th, and 28th at Fort Tudhill. And there will be VE exams given by the Scottsdale Club. They'll be hosting it. There are advanced tickets. If you want, call Hal at WA7ZCZ at 963-6830. He can give you more information about it if you're interested, and I know everybody will be there without question. Okay, I have somebody on the phone. We've had in Phoenix this last week a very major event for us amateurs where we were involved in Palo Verde, and Dick Jackson, K7VCI, he was the brains behind the brawn, so to speak, and I have him on the line. And good afternoon, Dick. Welcome to Ham Radio and More. We did it again. Good afternoon, Dick.
Yeah, good afternoon, Len.
Okay, tell us a little about what went on this last Wednesday.
Well, first of all, maybe I need to explain a little bit about how the hams are involved in this, and it's through RACES. And a lot of people don't know what RACES is. It's Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Services. And communication's a key to survival. And every RACES station is part of the emergency communication networks for the local government, state government, and remote locations. When is RACES needed? National disasters, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, nuclear accidents. That's why I brought this in. And floods, blackouts, and bomb threats. Well, last Wednesday we had the evacuation of the Palo Verde exercise out there. And altogether there are about 700 people involved in this. You have the Maricopa County Sheriffs, Maricopa County Civil Defense, Red Cross, Tolleson High School is involved. They furnished the students. We had, this was the first two. We had the Air National Guard communication van out there at the school this year. Came down from Tucson. And then we had the state EOC, which RACES is part of. And then we had the comm van, which I was in out the Buckeye Airport, net control. And let's see, that's, the CAP. We had two people with the CAP planes that we send up with the CAP planes, and they have our communications, so we are able to communicate with the CAP while they're flying around. So altogether, what we do is we were one of the first ones in the United States to put this into operation when the Palo Verde plant was built out there. The CAP handled it the first year, but they just couldn't take it with their exercise and all that, so they decided to get RACES involved in it. And RACES, I guess, if you know, is very close to FEMA, which is Federal Energy Management Agency, and they're the ones that come out here and monitor this thing. And what we do is we take students from Tolleson High School on a bus with a Red Cross and an amateur radio operator, and we put them out there, and then they get the warning from the Sheriff's Department that there's a plume headed towards Phoenix. That there's been an accident out there at Palo Verde.
It's basically a disaster test.
Right, And then also they monitor the feed, the grain, and the milk situation, and we've been doing this now for about 8 years, and it's been so successful that we've heard other states are using ham operators now, and they're finding it's working pretty good.
Well, I know that the FCC was down here, and people from all over, right?
Yeah, the FCC, now they didn't monitor this. They asked to come up and observe, and this was the first time that they got involved in it, so that was another plus. Every year we seem like we pick up more steam. Like we had 20 people this time involved in it, 20 radio operators involved in it this time.
Okay. Well, we're very happy that we got that information out, and I'm going to have Mark here just give a thumbnail sketch of what, as being an active participant, what he did, and then we're going to go from there. And I thank you, Dick. We'll have you back on to discuss RACES in the future, because I think that's very interesting and something that needs to be discussed.
Okay, thanks, Len.
Thank you, Dick. Bye-bye. Okay, Mark, KB7LPR, you were at the event on Wednesday, and what were your feelings about it?
Yes, I was there, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on here and talk about it. Yes, I was there, and I think it ran very smooth. What impressed me most of all was that there were 20 amateurs involved in the exercise out there, which represented that day 200 man-hours in my estimation. I'm sure there was much more time than that in the planning stages of it, but just that day. plus these 20 amateurs that showed up also brought their own equipment. And that had a range in cost from $7,000 to $8,000 worth of equipment that these amateurs brought with them to make sure the communications went off without a hitch. Kind of makes you feel good to be a part of that, and it's a nice feeling to know that there are groups out there that will do that in the Phoenix area if we should ever happen to have a disaster or something.
God forbid. Okay, well, thank you, Mark. I want to just quickly mention that Dennis, his phone number is 979-6715 from the ARA, still needs some volunteers for May 4th at the ASU Handicap Olympics event. May 5th, the Arizona Lung Association bike ride at the Point South Mountain. And on May 19th, there's two events, the Bud Light Triathlon at Australia and the Phoenix Youth at Risk at South Mountain for a climb. And again, that's Dennis, 979-6715, and he can still use some volunteers there. So by all means, if you're interested, please give him a call. Okay, you amateurs out there who are Morse Code, CW readers, we're going to go at 16 words a minute. The first caller with the correct answer, please call if you know the answer, and you're going to win. I know you're going to love the prize. So the first caller, please call in. Here we go. Okay, we'll continue. We want to talk about Wallpaper World. Wallpaper World has 6 locations in the Valley of the Sun. They sell wallpaper, of course, and along with custom window treatments, duet blinds, vertical blinds, mini blinds, pleated shades, custom wood shutters. At the lowest prices, they manufacture their own mini blinds, their own vertical blinds. They also have 700-800 wallpaper books in each of their locations. They have 400 or 500 patterns in each of their stores that you can take of wallpaper, take it home and hang it this evening. They have trained consultants in each one of their stores. If you bring them a fabric, bring them a pillow, bring them a paint sample, whatever you want to match to, they'll find you wall covering or custom window treatments to go in your decor. Wallpaper World will never be beat as far as price. They will beat anyone's price on wallpaper. Give them a try, you'll see. Call up any one of their locations in Mesa, Scottsdale, or Paradise Valley, Chandler, Northwest Phoenix. Believe me, if you call them, you will not be unhappy. You will get the best price. If you need an exact location, call 678-1234. That's 678-1234 for the location nearest you. Again, 678-1234, and their prices cannot be beat. They do their own installation on mini blinds, verticals, and pleated shades, and wood shutters, and usually that's included free of charge. Okay, let's quickly introduce my guests again. Larry Cook, who is from the Superstition Amateur Radio Club, and Dan Meredith, who's from the Arizona Amateur Radio Club. And Larry, welcome today.
Pleased to meet you.
Okay, let me move the microphone over there.
Okay.
You go.
Yeah, I made a little bit of noise here when I moved this thing earlier.
Okay. Okay, tell me a little about the Superstition Amateur Radio Club, Larry.
Okay, we have a repeater on 147.12 megahertz in the East Valley, and if you have a police scanner, you can dial in amateur radio frequencies between 144 and 148 megahertz FM. And the club repeater is on 147.120. So if you tune that frequency in on your scanner, you probably will hear something on there when we are talking. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock is a good time because we have a net on there. We get together and have about half a dozen to a dozen people check in, and then we run the national news, the amateur radio news line, at around 8:30 to 8:45 in the evening. The Superstition Amateur Radio Club also runs a net on 10 meters, 28.470 megahertz upper sideband every Thursday at 8 p.m. And we again play Newsline at around 8:30. Want to invite everyone who is a licensed amateur to check in and listen in. We have our meetings on the third Tuesday, May 21st at 7:30 p.m. at the Four Peaks Elementary School on Idaho Road, 1/2 mile north of Superstition Boulevard, which is what they call University Drive in Apache Junction. And our next meeting will feature Packet Radio, and Rick Checketts, KA0KZB, who is our club secretary, will be putting on the program. And so if you want to learn more about how to interface your computer with amateur radio transceivers, why, come on out to the club meeting. Next Saturday morning over at Cobb's Restaurant, we have the breakfast. Cobb's Restaurant at the northeast corner of Thunderbird and US 60 in Apache Junction. At 8:30 in the morning, we rattle the glasses and whatever else we have to do in lieu of having a gavel, call everybody's attention, and make announcements and introduce guests and so forth. So, everyone's welcome to come on out to that, and it's a good idea to be out before 8:30.
Okay, Larry, let's get back to you in a minute. I have the winner of our CW contest on the telephone. Jim, welcome to Ham Radio and More.
How you doing, Len? I just dropped my coffee on my pad here, so how you doing?
Okay. What was the CW?
I said Sundrop is fun and exciting.
It is. Well, it absolutely is. You know, are you aware that Sundrop is the newest proclaimed by the governor ambassador for the state, goodwill ambassador for the state of Arizona?
No, I didn't.
See?
Learn something new every day.
It's finally good news for Arizona. Sundrop is absolutely positive about Arizona. He's the governor, like I say, he's the goodwill ambassador proclaimed by the governor for the state of Arizona. He's where anything good in Arizona is happening. If you want more information on the Sundrop, you can call 435-0469. And he's also a costumed character who stands 7 foot tall, so kind of cute. And Jim, you've won a Sundrop T-shirt.
Outstanding. My daughter will love it.
Okay, what size does she wear?
I'd say a medium.
Okay, we'll send you out a medium. And thank you for listening.
Well, thank you, and enjoy the show, and say hello to Mark there, and to M7 MRP bulletin board I check in all the time on.
Okay, well, Jim, we'll talk to you later, and I think we'll talk about you later.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, Jim. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. Where are we? Here we are. Dan. Whew. Everything is going. Here we go. Dan, tell me about the Arizona Amateur Radio Club, which has been around since when?
1931.
That's a long time.
The Arizona Amateur Radio Club is the first club in the state that we know of at present. They got formulated around 1931 and didn't get incorporated till the late 60s, but at this present time, we have no repeaters or anything on the air, although there is one in the process, which will be on 147.380 megahertz. It should be up in at least another 6 months or so. We're still working on putting things together for that. The club meets at the Red Cross building on the second Thursday of each and every month, and that is 1510 East Flower Street. We generally gear our meetings to anybody. Last meeting we had was with Rick Tannehill from the Department of Public Safety. So we try to get some big-name people in and get very interesting programs put together. We've had tours of the TV stations, the 911 centers, and also the last one with the DPS was all about statewide communications and the sites and how microwave is used and a lot of various other things. So we try to gear all of our programming, each month. Yep.
I just want to interact here. If anybody out there, I know that we have a lot of listeners who are not amateur radio operators. There's probably a lot of people who want to be, and there's probably a lot of people who are just finding this interesting. We're probably using a lot of expressions and words that are difficult to understand for the average person out there. If anybody has a question, and I'm sure that we're utilizing expressions that are and abbreviations that are hard to understand, by all means, just give us a call at 241-1510 or 1-800-293-5366. What we're trying to do basically for the last 2 weeks, and we will for the next week or so, is to lay the the foundation for amateur radio and explain that there are lots of organizations in the Valley that cater to the amateur radio community, all the good events that we get involved in, all the activities that we participate in. We want more and more amateur radio operators. It's a fantastic hobby, and it's almost a way of life. So by all means, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call 241-1510. I'm sorry, Dan, go ahead.
No problem. Anyways, that's generally what we try to do for our monthly meeting. As for any extracurricular activities, the club participates in Field Day, and those of you that are interested in that, it's the latter part of June. I don't have the dates off the top of my head. I believe it's the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. 22nd, 23rd, I believe. Okay, and it is in June. Our club holds Field Day at Top Mingus Mountain, and for those of you that are listening do not know what Field Day is, Field Day is an event which amateurs all across the United States get together on various locations, and they put up various emergency antennas. We use generators. We use no electricity power, especially being atop Mingus Mountain. You don't have that. We set up antennas. We shoot, get our bow and arrows out and shoot antennas up through the trees. And I'm getting some strange looks here, but we do shoot our antennas up through the trees, and it's an overall emergency communications process in which it goes for 24 hours straight. We're completely 100% either on solar or generator power. We use all the amateur bands that we can utilize, which is the same as many frequencies as the amateur bands are. We move all over the place. We make as many contacts as we can all over the place, and it's pretty much nothing but a contest, but in that sense, we see how fast we can get set up and get ready for that in case there was an emergency of some sort, which took out, several states, or, if it was a wide disaster. So we try to get together and go as fast as we can and make as many contacts as we can, and just kind of, it's mainly pretty much a study.
It's also fun to get out in the outdoors and just have a good time.
Yeah, it is. And the next meeting the Arizona Club is going to have is the May 9th. We will start touching on Field Day. And the June meeting, which I don't have the date off the top of my head, but it is the second Thursday at 7:30 at the Red Cross building, will touch solely on Field Day and what we'll be doing up there. And just for the non-hams out there, if you come down to the meeting, we can get you signed up. You are welcome to come with us. You do not have to be a ham radio operator to join us that weekend. We will be using the club call sign, which is W7IO. We call it Whiskey 7 Input Output. And you just sit down in front of the radio and get going. So you just do not have to be a ham to participate.
Okay, I thank you, Dan, and we'll get back to you and Larry a little later. I need to tell you about a place called One Stop Communications. That's Ray Shepard and Jim Pickard's store, KG7BG, at 1201 North 54th Avenue, suite number 117, the phone number being 269-2799, 269-2799. They're open from 7 in the morning to 7 p.m., and they do sales, service, installation, warranty work on all kinds of business radios, citizens band radios, And they'll work definitely Jim Pickard, who is a licensed amateur and a licensed technician, will be more than happy to work on many different amateur radios, and he has a very, very, very good reputation. I have Mark McFadden, KB7LPR here, and he's just going to relate a real quick experience that he had with his Kenwood 440.
Well, again, thanks for having me here today, and I don't know if this is it's just by chance that I was here, and I'd let you know that I had taken my Kenwood 440 to Jim with a receipt problem, and it was out of warranty, and I decided to take it. Jim, what impressed me about him was he was so meticulous and professional in the way he handled my equipment. I had the opportunity to watch him work on it for a bit, and I wouldn't hesitate a second to take my equipment back to him. If it was under warranty, I'd probably send it into Kenwood, but since it was out of warranty, I wouldn't hesitate a second to take it back to him for repairs.
Okay, so there's an honest-to-goodness testimony. If you need something repaired, don't hesitate to call Jim Pickard, and that's 269-2799. Now, they do have a Kenwood 2-meter handy-talkie, a plug-in charger. It has a 30-day warranty. If anything goes wrong with it, he'll be happy to fix it. And they want $200 for it. Now, maybe you can get it for $199.99 if you talk real nice. But it's a TR 2600 Kenwood, and that's a good deal. Again, that's 1201 North 54th Avenue, Suite 117. So, and that's 269-2799. So if you're interested in service, or you're interested in buy that Kenwood, or you're interested in business band radios from Maxon, Uniden, Standard, Dynascan, by all means, try One Stop Communications. I think you'll be very pleased. Okay, Larry Cook, as far as Superstition Amateur Radio Club goes, about how many members do you guys have out there?
We have about 200 members, and we throw in free membership with our novice class, so that grows every once in a while. When we have another novice class, beginners radio class, we'll have another one in the fall. Mm-hmm. And we'll also be getting involved with the ARRL Field Day on top of Four Peaks Mountain, about 7,000 feet, on the fourth full weekend of June. And I think Dan filled you in pretty well on what Field Day is all about. This will be our first time out at Field Day. But we do amateur licensing tests in Apache Junction on the second Saturdays of November and April, and once in Mesa in the second Saturday of February. So there's a lot of opportunities there. I also want to bring up H.R. 73, Amateur Radio Spectrum Protection Act of 1991. We need to get a hold of our congressmen on that one. And so far there are, last I heard, there's 85 co-sponsors. We need about 200 in the U.S. House of Representatives.
And what is that bill exactly?
Okay, the bill is a piece of legislation which finds that more than 400,000 radio amateurs in the United States are licensed by the Federal Communications Commission after thorough examination of radio regulations and technical principles. And they also find that emergency communication services by volunteer radio amateurs have consistently and reliably been provided before. The Federal Communications Commission has taken actions which resulted in the loss of over 100 megahertz of spectrum to amateurs. And what the bill will do is amend the Communications Act of 1934 to make it so that the Federal Communications Commission shall not diminish existing allocation of spectrum to the amateur radio service after January 1, 1991.
In other words, they can't take away any of our frequencies.
Either that, or they can, if they do take away our frequencies, the Commission shall provide equivalent replacement spectrum to the amateur radio service or for any frequency reallocation after January 1.
And who should people write to?
Okay. We should ask Congressman John J. Rhodes III in the 1st District, in your congressman, in whichever district you're in. His address, Congressman Rhodes' address, is 326 Cannon House Office Building, Washington, D.C. 20515. We should also write our senators and ask them to co-sponsor a bill, to introduce a bill in the Senate that will be a companion measure to this House of Representatives Bill number 73.
Okay. Anything else you have about the Superstition Amateur Radio Club you want to put through right now? And we'll go on to the next.
Well, we want to invite anyone out to the club breakfast and out to the club meeting. We are going to be moving our meetings in September to the Velda Rose Church at 56th Street in Maine. That'll be on the 3rd Tuesday, and if anybody would like to get any more information about the club, please give me a call, Larry Cook, at 986-2298.
Okay, so and would you be willing to send them one of your publications if they want one?
Certainly. We do have a monthly newsletter. Well, June and July will be combining, and August, September will be combining, but after that it'll be again every month. And we'll be happy to send you a newsletter. Send us a 6x9 size envelope with 2 ounces postage on it, and we'll be happy to send you one.
And where should they send it?
Okay, the club address is P.O. Box 1551, Apache Junction, Arizona. And the zip code there is 85217-1551.
Okay. I thank you, Larry. Let me tell you guys and gals out there about a phone number. That's 228-2336. 228-2336. That's a phone number to save money. Now, let me give that again because you might not have written it down because you didn't know it was to save money. That's 228-2336. I want to tell you about a friend of mine who actually would be your friend and who wants to be your friend, and that you will be his after you call him, especially if you're ready to purchase a new car or a new truck. And his name again is Ken Nichols. Ken Nichols. He is the fleet manager at Linda Brock's Auto Mall located in Scottsdale. He has the best auto purchasing savings plan going with only one purpose in mind, and that's to help you get into the vehicle you want at the lowest cost possible. Experience it for yourself like some other hams have. Actually, Dan Meredith, who happens to be here today, and it is only a coincidence, has just purchased a car from Ken. And Dan, tell us about your experience buying a car from Ken Nichols.
Well, first of all, when Ken says he can get anything you want, well, that's actually true. He can get anything you want. I thought for sure, I was going to run out and get myself, an Oldsmobile because that's where he worked, and thought that was the only thing I get. But it turned out I wanted a Nissan. He said, "Sure, no problem." So I kind of looked at him strange, but he actually did. He got me the Nissan I wanted, and for the cost that he got it, because he's a fleet salesperson, they always seem to get those bargains on them. He was able to pass that savings on to me, and just out of curiosity, I checked it out from the place that I would have normally purchased the vehicle. And it looks, I saved $2,000 with all the extra packages. Plus, I got a free package that was put on it because they had made a foul up. And hey, I was extremely pleased.
Okay, well, that's pretty convincing evidence that Ken treats you right. If you want, you could shop anywhere for your best deal. But before you sign on a dotted line, make sure you stop by and meet with Ken. Put his knowledge to work for you. You'll be glad you did. Call 228-2336. And by calling that, you're not just going to get some answering, somebody's a secretary or something. You'll get either Ken answering the phone or his answering machine. And he will call you back as soon as possible. He'll give you a price, and it'll be the right price. And you won't be sorry that you called him. Again, that number to save money, 228-2336. 228-2336. Okay. Dan, you have your own bulletin board on Packet. For those of you who don't know, Packet is a type of communications where we use a computer and a terminal node, and that's about as simple as I can make it, and we do a lot of it over 2 meter FM, and some of it, of course, is done on HF. But Dan has his own bulletin board, N7MRP, on 145.1.11 megahertz. And want to tell us a little about your bulletin board?
Yeah, what I do for the local amateur community is I now am what they call a modification server for the state of Arizona. What that is there's many radio modifications that are available so you can increase the efficiency of your radio, or if you found that you found a bug or something and there's been a modification to cure that bug, those are all filed. I have over 600 various files for many different types of radios from all makes and brands. I even have modifications for the Commodore computers that many people use. And for a lot of people that don't understand what packet radio is a form of digital communication which you type in a bunch of various character strings that would be either ASCII or binary, and they get sent out as a packet, as if you were to package up something, put it out. It sends it out as a packet, and then it acknowledges that it has received that packet. So that's how they get the name packet radio, because it goes out in a packet like a package. Mm-hmm. I also have bulletins that come in from all over the United States. Those get changed out every night because I get over 100 plus each day, so that's a little hard to keep track of all of them. I also forward national traffic system messages.
How long does it take normally on a normal packet to get from, let's say, Phoenix to the New York area if you want to send a bulletin to somebody in New York?
Generally, it takes about the same as the post office was, about 2 days, because it goes to many different stations to get back there. So it goes from, say, myself to somebody in New Mexico or something, and then they ship it on further. So that's how it's done. And also, there's a new system which is coming on really strong, which the amateurs are paying dearly out of the pocket. It's called Tellink. It's a telephone linking system that we are doing now. We all coordinate together with our modems, and we send all this traffic rather than sending it over the airways, which takes time, plus clutters up the airways for the actual user to get on and have a good time when he has to get on and see all this stuff being forwarded that's nothing but a bunch of computers talking to each other. We send it out on the modem, and we pay for the long distance charges and everything. So it's a nationwide system which is coming on really strong.
If people want more information, how should they contact you?
The best way to contact me is on the telephone, or if you're on Packet already and want more information, you can contact me via my bulletin board. The best way to contact me is my home phone number of 957-9249. Ask for Dan, or my paging system may possibly be on, and just listen to the instructions when that comes on. Also, I just wanted to add, I have also added a second port now, which is on the 220 megahertz band. All is not lost for packet radio on 220. The frequency is 224.520. That's simplex. The call sign is still my normal call sign, no dashes or anything behind it. It's N7MRP. It is testing right now, so I do need everybody's thoughts and comments on it. So that's coming up, and also an HF port for 10 meters for long distance hauls, which will be on soon too. So, and also just kind of want to give a plug. The Arizona Club is sponsoring the Red Cross Bulletin Board, which is under the call sign of W7IO on 145.050 simplex. And I also take care of that bulletin board. So if one's wrong with the other, mine and that one looks very similar because I'm the one that programmed it.
Okay. If anybody out there has a sewer problem where their toilet doesn't work, or they need a plumber of any sort, see, right after Dan. No, Dan is not that person. Jim Vinson, 841-6624. That's Jim Vinson at 841-6624. The Router Company is the person to call. Let me tell you, he does good work. His prices are absolutely fantastic. You can count on him. You can trust him. You know, it's not always easy to get a plumber. They'll come out on Sundays. He will. He'll do anything at any time that you need done, and he does it well. He knows what he's doing. Jim Vinson, 841-6624. I apologize, Dan, that it came, I mean, but
I'm
Jim,
just getting a kick out of it, that's all.
but Jim is actually going to learn. He wants to become a no-code technician,
Right.
and so, don't laugh. He'll become a ham one of these days, and we'll have another person.
Then you can solve your plumbing problems.
I have a question out there for a simple little prize. First caller with the correct answer will win a little prize there. Please tell me, what is the new 80-meter Novice Tech CW subband frequencies? See how, that's a real easy question. But the first caller will win a nice prize, like I said. What is the new 80-meter Novice Tech CW subband frequency? Now, that just went into effect, and everybody out there should know the new frequency. So, okay, also, anybody who wants to call in to buy, sell, or trade some equipment, some radio equipment, by all means, I will take calls now for the next 10 minutes. If you have any equipment that you want to buy, anything that you want to sell or trade, by all means, give us a call at 241-1510. That's 241-1510, and we'll be happy to air your radio equipment. Okay. And again, if anybody has the answer to the 80-meter Novice Tech CW subband, give us a call now. Yes, Dan.
Just got another comment. For the club, we also participate in public service. And coming up on May 18th and 19th, we will be helping the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation on a cross-country bike tour, which will be up in the Prescott area, which is looking to be a lot of fun. No, you won't have to be riding on motorcycles or anything. It's going to be in about a 5-mile square radius, so you won't have to run up and down hills or anything. So, and we are treated with 100% first class. The last one we did for cystic fibrosis was in the down south in Casa Grande, and that was a lot of fun. They give you a T-shirt, which some people that's not a lot, but to me that's kind of neat. And knowing that we went out and did that public service. If anybody would like further information, they should contact Gary Hammond, K7GH. He's the activities chairman for the club. Or if you have any other activity that you may know of, give him a call at 996-8148. And we are just now getting people together for this. We do need help.
Okay, let me get this done. Antennas West in Provo, Utah, produces the Tiger's Tail. Again, the Tiger's Tail. I know a lot of you heard about this last week, and I talked to Jim Stevens, KK7C, in Provo, Utah, and he got quite a few calls from those of you who ordered Tiger's Tails, and I believe when you get them, you'll be happy with the results. You put them on your handy-talkie. It fits right on your antenna port. It's for a 2-meter radio, and it will increase your receive and your transmit power. You'll be able to save your battery because you can use it on a smaller battery setting on low power. And I've tried it. It works. It went from a half of meter S units to over 3/4 S unit meter on just putting on the Tiger's Tail. Again, it's normally $7.95 plus $2 handling, and he's only charging $5 if you mention ham radio and more. That's just $5. You really can't go wrong. That's 1-800-926-7373. 1-800-926-7373. They manufacture their own antennas. They have QSL cards. They even have QSL cards where you can get them in one day if you want them that fast. And they have apartment antennas. If you live in an apartment and you need an antenna. Really, Antennas West is a good place to go for antennas. And again, the Tiger's Tail, $5. It works. Call it now, because after next Saturday, I believe, they will go back to $7.95 plus shipping. You just mention ham radio and more. That's 1-800-926-7373. Jim Stevens, KK7C, is the owner of Antennas West. Okay, again, if we have some lines open, anybody that has some equipment to buy, sell, or trade, give us a call. And I don't have a winner yet on the 80-meter Novice Tech CW subband. But we do have a caller online that wants to sell something, so let me go to it now. Welcome to the show, Ray, KE7IJ.
That's me.
Welcome to Ham Radio and More. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good, Ray. What do you have to sell?
ICOM 27A.
Okay.
It also comes with a 2-meter beam antenna. That's as is. It's been shipped from house to house. A little bit of disrepair. And also I have a 2600A Kenwood, and that comes with the charger, the METS magnetic antenna, the cigarette lighter adapter, and I've got a, well, basically that's it. And I want $150 a piece for, the 150 is for the ICOM, and the 150 is for the 2600 with all the goodies for it. And our phone number is 953-1266.
953-1266. Okay, Ray. You want to take a stab at what the frequency is for the 80 meters?
I couldn't even guess.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye. Hello. Welcome to Ham Radio and More. Who do we have? Hello? Oh, something's wrong. Welcome to Ham Radio More. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, well, something happened to the phones. That figures. By the way, Jim Stevens at Antennas West will also be at the Fort Tudhill Hamfest, and he's going to sponsor a seminar, What's New on HF Antennas. Jim Stevens has been a ham since 1950, and he's going to talk about QRP contesting, etc., which you definitely need a good antenna when you're doing that. Okay, oh, we do have a winner here. Okay, maybe it'll work now. Well, welcome to Ham Radio and More. Is this Kim?
Yes, this is Kim.
Okay, I'm sorry. For some reason, the phone wasn't working before. Okay, Kim, what is the frequency?
It's 3675 to 3725 kilohertz.
Did you look that up?
No, I knew that because I just took a test recently.
Okay. Well, I was surprised no one else called with the winning number. Last week's question was a lot easier in that it was Barry Goldwater. So everybody knew that. Okay, well, I thank you for calling. You're going to win a Sundrop license plate and a Sundrop cap with the fun little Sundrop on it. You know, all over the United States, they have raindrops, but in Arizona, we have the Sundrop.
Okay, thank you.
You'll love it, let me tell you. It's cute, and if you have any kids, they'll love it.
All right.
Okay, thanks for calling, Kim.
Thank you.
Okay,
bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, we've got a couple of minutes left in the show, and Jim, you have a few more, Larry, I mean, you have a few more things to go over?
Well, we do have a couple of activities each year. The Amateur Radio Awareness Day, which is something that we started last fall, is a special event station activity where we put amateur radio on public display. We did that last year, and I think we'll probably be doing it again this year at the oh boy, where did I lose my notes here? BF Factory Outlet Mall on Baseline east of Power in Mesa. And last February 16th, we did a special event station where we put our amateur radio station on the air and advertised Apache Junction's Lost Dutchman Days all over the place. And we made over 300 contacts. We do that every February. People are still waiting for their certificates. We are also waiting for our certificates, so please be patient. We'll get those out as soon as we get the certificates in. So we made 300 contacts last time around, made all kinds of news for Apache Junction. We get a lot of interesting comments back, too, with regard to such things as I've been there, I've heard of the place, and that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you, Larry. We have another call. Bob, W7ALR, what are you looking for?
Yes, how are you?
Okay.
I'd like to get a hold of a 14AVQ vertical antenna, Mr. 14AVQ. I can't remember the maker, but
High gain.
you familiar with that?
Larry Cook says high gain.
High gain, right, that's right.
Okay.
And my phone number is 895-1703.
Okay, 895-1703 for a 14AVQ antenna by high gain.
I'll leave a message. I'm not there at the moment. I'm on a radio phone. But congratulations on the show.
Okay, thanks for listening, Bob, and thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, here. I want to thank, again, One Stop Communications, Wallpaper World, and Antennas West for sponsoring the show. I want to thank my guests today, Larry Cook and Dan Meredith and Mark McFadden, for being here. I really want to thank all the local clubs for their support. I want to thank KFNN Radio for allowing us to have this show. There's hundreds and hundreds of aspects of amateur radio that exist, and we're trying to start slow with general interest subjects and gradually go to DX and packet and AMSAT and talk about handy hams and RFI problems, etc., etc. But we're trying to just lay the foundation right now. And all of you non-hams, it's so easy now to become a ham radio operator. It's just amazing. With no tech license, with no code licensing now, all you need to do is pass a simple 55-question test, which really is easy, and anybody can do it. It just takes a little bit of studying, and you can do it, and then graduate up, learn 5 words a minute, become a novice, and well, a Tech Plus, I guess, and go from there. The more we can get, the more amateur operators, the better. Next week's show, we're going to have Frank Smith and Tony Rosinski from the DX Club and the West Valley Club. It's going to be a great show. They're going to talk about Dayton Hamfest, which occurred, actually it just ended today. It was Friday, Saturday, and they were there. And guys, thank you for coming, and I hope everybody out there enjoyed. And by all means, send in QSL cards. Let us know you're listening. The more we get, the better, and we'll be happy to send you guys back a QSL card with KB7LPW and KFNN. Dan, thank you for coming.
Thank you. 73s.
And Larry?
Thank you.
And Mark? And 73's Arizona. And thank you for listening. We'll be back again next week at 2 o'clock. Send in your QSL cards. 73's.
You've been listening to Ham Radio and More, the program that discusses the exciting world of amateur radio. Your host has been Len Winkler, KB7LPW. Ham Radio and More has been brought to you by Antennas West, One Stop Communications, and Wallpaper World. Join Len Winkler next Sunday afternoon at 2 for the next transmission of Ham Radio and More here on 1510 AM KFNN.